Folks, when you're seeing thousands of sales on the market, there is 3 people that you do have to convince if you're looking to sell your property. 1 is the buyer, 2 is their agent, and 3 is the appraiser. One of the interesting things about appraisers is a lot of people put very much weight, whether it be in the agent, in the appraiser, or even the buyer's opinion. But I want to talk to you about 3 criteria specifically that you should consider that an appraiser is also using in evaluating your property that is really going to help you not only to market and sell your home, but also know how you should properly evaluate it so that you can make sure you're selling your home in this market when so many homes are sitting. Now, just so you know, an appraiser is going to definitely look at some things like they're going to look at the amenities. They're going to end up looking at the condition and quality of the property. They're also going to look at the terms and conditions of the sell. You know, does somebody have to sell it super quick or was it a normal sell in the market? Okay, they're going to obviously evaluate those factors. But here's 3 key factors when we're evaluating homes that they're going to really look at, that you should look at in evaluating your home, that they're going to use to protect the bank. Just remember, an appraiser isn't there to help anybody else, to protect the lender, to make sure the value is there, okay? So here's some criteria for us to think about. Number 1 is going to be the date of the sale. What is the closest date that this property has sold in today's market? Why is that important? Because it's reflecting today's market conditions. If a property sold yesterday and the most recent sale behind that is 30 days, which one has more weight? The one that reflects today's market condition. Next, what they're going to look at is the comparable of the property. They're going to look for the like for like quality on a home. Number 2 is the proximity to the comparable sale. Folks, they're going to evaluate what is the proximity of that home compared to where your home is located. Now, I will tell you in general, an appraiser really wants to be within a mile of that property. They'll sometimes go as much as 1.5 miles. On very extreme conditions, on sales in urban areas where there's not a lot of sales, I've even seen them go out farther. But in general, a mile radius is always the one thing that they're going to essentially evaluate. And they are looking at areas where they want to create buffers and boundaries. You know those buffers and boundaries. It could be a freeway, it could be a park. They want first the neighborhood, and then they want to evaluate these buffers and boundaries. Again, no farther than a mile out. So if you're looking at your property and you're saying, well, this home over here 5 miles away sold for $1.2 million, and this property in my neighborhood sold for $800,000, folks, you probably need to reevaluate the sell and what is in proximity in your location of what properties are selling for. Number 3, similarity. They want to look at what is a property that is similar in quality, condition, size, and how it was even built. If you have your property's a Rambler property and you have 15 Ramblers that have sold, they are very similar. But if there's only 3 Ramblers and everything else is 2 stories, well, the Ramblers are going to have a higher weight than a 2-story property. Why? Because they're very similar. They attract a similar demographic. 2 stories, they attract many people, but it may be somebody different, right? It may be a different buyer and a different demographic. 2-story properties, elderly folks aren't going to be purchasing, whereas a Rambler, they may consider that. So just remember, they're going to look at something that is similar in quality. So as you're evaluating your property, just know those are 3 criteria are very important to them. The date that it was sold, the proximity to the sell, and very similar. So as you're evaluating your home and you're looking at those things, if you want a free market evaluation, you want to know what's selling close to you. You want to understand what is the condition, because you're either looking at selling, you're looking at doing maybe something in the future. Maybe you just want to do, a lateral move as opposed to an upgrade, or even maybe you want to get into something smaller. You want to know what those conditions are. But it's a good thing to evaluate. It helps you know the market. It helps you know how not only a buyer is looking at it, their agent is evaluating, but the appraiser that's likely going to appraise that property. Folks, if you want any information or a free market evaluation on your home, please reach out to us today. We're here to help you out with any details as you're evaluating and exploring your options. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.